Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this Monday. I'm Jacqueline Matter.
I'm Ray Collins. April 3rd. Have a good weekend?
I did have a good weekend. Did you have a good weekend?
Went down to Fort Myers for a little event.
Okay.
And saw some friends. I lived down there in a previous life and good return to Southwest Florida.
Good.
Yes.
Still haven't made it down there, but it sounds like a beautiful place down there.
You love it, Fort Myers and Naples. John, how was your weekend?
Sweltering.
Yes.
That's how it was. It was hot.
It was.
Yeah. Some places around Florida almost broke a 100-year heat temperature record. Yeah, it was really warm.
Oh my.
We came in at 85 yesterday, and we'll probably get pretty close to that again today. So I had the AC cranking a lot over the weekend. And it will be again today. We have a cold front moving through a little later in the week. That'll change things up a bit. But for today, it's another hot one. Radar's good, though. Not showing a drop of rain around anywhere currently, despite the fact that we have some strong storms to the north. In fact, we have tornado watches and severe thunderstorm watches up in parts of North Florida. We'll show you that in just a minute. 72 degrees, Lakewood Ranch, Mayaca at 73, 72 in Venice and Inglewood, Longboat Key at 73, Bradenton at 73, already starting the morning off. Kind of humid and warm out there. Our daytime high today again tops out in the low 80s. Not much of a rain chance today, except inland. You might see an isolated shower. But there is rain in the forecast this week. We'll cover it in detail in a minute. Back to you guys.
All right, taking a look at Suncoast traffic this morning. State Road 70 and 301 seeing an increase in congestion, as well as Cortez and 41. Other than that, I-75 looking clear as you head into Sarasota County. Traffic throughout that area towards Sarasota County, you can see a little bit of congestion on Fruitville Road and Town 41 area. As we head into South County, not a whole lot going on. Pretty quiet on this Monday morning. All is well. No accidents to report as you head out the door. Topping our news this morning, the numbers are in, and they show that the Suncoast is among the healthiest areas in Florida.
That's according to the National County Health Rankings list. Sarasota County is ranked as number 3 for health outcomes, and Manatee and Charlotte counties in the top 1/3 at 21 and 22 respectively. So what still needs improvement? Our Erica Jackson has some answers.
Sarasota County is representing the Suncoast with the top 3 ranking. Manatee has its best ranking since 2012, but there's still room for improvement.
It's a great tool for us to use that either validates what we're doing right across our community, or helps us identify areas we need to really dig into and understand how we can make improvements.
Sarasota County Health Officer Chuck Henry is pleased with the outcome of this year's County Health Rankings released by the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. It addresses healthy choices, social and economic factors, and access to care. Although Sarasota County received its top 3 ranking for the 2nd year in a row, Henry says residents could improve drinking habits. The report finds 18% of adults report heavy drinking and 34% of driving deaths include alcohol.
Fatalities related to drunk driving are higher than the state average and much higher than the national average for our community, so that's an area of future focus.
Both Sarasota and Manatee counties are above the state average for drug overdose deaths. Sarasota County has 18 deaths per 100,000 residents, and Manatee has the 2nd highest number of overdose deaths in the state, with 29 deaths per 100,000 residents. Local anti-addiction advocate Jerry Stanhope believes that is due to lack of available treatment.
They find ways to take care of their needs drug-wise, but then when they decide they want to get off it, there's nowhere to go for help.
But Henry says Sarasota's access to care and low number of avoidable hospitalizations are some of the county's best qualities.
If the health factors are any indication, we are striving to do things correctly, and we hope to stay in this top group.
The Florida Department of Health in Sarasota County credits local government, agencies, and organizations for its steady rankings over the last few years. Reporting from Sarasota County, Erica Jackson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, some airport news now. TSA is opening a temporary pre-check enrollment center at the Punta Gorda Airport today. So if you don't like to wait in long lines, you can sign up for a TSA pre-check online and then complete the enrollment in person at the airport's pre-check center. The application fee is $85 and it's good for 5 years. Bring along an ID, and also, by the way, Sarasota and Tampa's airport have had similar sign-ups, and you can always do it online at any time as well.
The Sarasota Farmers Market is staying put for now. According to the Bradenton Herald, market organizers agreed to keep the weekly event on State Street even as construction continues in that surrounding area. That decision comes after some debate whether construction would be too disruptive. A proposal was recently discussed to move the vendors from State Street to First Street, but several merchants objected, hoping to keep business coming their way. After heated debate back and forth, the final decision was made to keep the market in its same location. However, organizers warn if construction does become too much of a hassle, they will be forced to move locations. The Sarasota County Brady chapter is hosting a gun violence forum today. The discussion will cover a variety of issues, including the current 30-plus gun bills in the state legislature. Guest speakers will include a parent whose child was killed during the Sandy Hook massacre in 2012. The Florida Coalition to Prevent Gun Violence will also be in attendance. That event starts at 1:30 at Selby Library in Sarasota, and is free and open to the public.
Now to the investigation into what sparked a wildfire that forced evacuations and charred more than 700 acres in Marion County. That fire in Central Florida began on Friday, was not contained until this morning. Officials evacuated over 50 homes in that area, and those people have since been allowed to return. The cause is still under investigation, but they don't believe it was an accident. Only one home was destroyed in the fire, and it was not occupied. One person was taken to the hospital for some breathing issues.
And speaking of fires, a high-rise fire in Dubai is now under control. Sunday morning, a fire broke out at a high-rise construction site as large plumes of gray smoke clouded the iconic Dubai skyline. The building where the flames broke out is located near the massive Dubai Mall. Now, the fire caused nearby road closures for most of Sunday, but luckily no injuries were reported. A major section of interstate collapsed in one of the nation's most congested cities last week, if you remember. Now prosecutors have added an arson charge against a man that they believe was responsible for setting the fire that caused that collapse. Work is already underway to clear the debris and fix the suspended section of I-85 in Atlanta, but that work will likely take months to complete. Prosecutors have charged Basil Ellaby with arson, even as investigators work to determine the exact cause of the fire. He appeared in court over the weekend. The judge presiding over his case stressed how astronomical the cost of fixing that interstate will be.
My second inclination on thinking about it was that some compensation to the victims would be appropriate. But again, even at $1 a person, that would amount to several $1 million.
Investigators say Ellaby is homeless and that he set that fire intentionally, but they haven't said why or how. The judge set his bond at $200,000. If he is convicted of first-degree arson, he would face up to 20 years in prison.
Back here on the Suncoast, the Manatee County Sheriff's Office is investigating a string of vehicle burglaries in East Bradenton. Deputies were called to Creekwood Dog Park on 44th Avenue East around 7 p.m. on Saturday night. Somebody broke into 4 cars and stole purses while the owners were walking their dogs. If you have any information on these car burglaries, you can call the number on your screen, 866-634-TIPS. And this is day 2 of National Crime Victims' Rights Week. State numbers show last year alone in Sarasota, Manatee counties, there were nearly 10,000 crimes reported, each leaving a victim behind. Victim advocates say people don't often realize help is available to those during those vulnerable moments. Each county will host a vigil this week to celebrate the life of victims and invite anyone to come learn about the resources available as well.
Coming out to be just a support person. It didn't have to happen to them. We hope it didn't. But if they want to come as a support person to learn more about how we do cope and how we get along, I think I would love to invite the whole vicinity here.
Just because you got beat up by some guy at the bar, or your spouse, or you got robbed, that victimization doesn't define you. That's not who you are.
Sarasota County's vigil takes place tonight at the Boys and Girls Club on Fruitville Road at 6:30. And tomorrow night, Manatee County has their vigil at the Renaissance starting at 7 p.m. on 9th Street.
The Sarasota County Jail is continuing a newly launched addiction recovery program for women. That program prepares women to succeed in the real world without depending on drugs or alcohol. Each week, inmates get an opportunity to listen to volunteers with the Salvation Army, Alcoholics and Narcotics Anonymous, and Bayside Church. They also get a chance to hear from former inmates who were part of that program and are now living full and healthier lives.
Recovery pod here at Sarasota County Jail really helped get that through to me, that there was a better way to live and I wanted it. It wasn't about like punishment for your crimes. We're going to treat you badly because you're incarcerated. It was more or less correcting behaviors.
In Romans, for sure. But I just wanted to
The sheriff's office says they've received a half a dozen letters from former inmates in the past week thanking deputies for their part in that addiction recovery program. It's also been a great success. Statistics show almost half of general population inmates are rearrested within the year, but only 6% of the women who entered that recovery pod program were arrested again. Ringling College of Art and Design is ready to unveil their new sound stages. Take a look at this. The $18 million project provides students the opportunity to meet filmmakers and work on their projects with Hollywood quality facilities. Ringling Studios will host a ribbon cutting ceremony tonight at 5 o'clock on the corner of Dr. MLK Way and Central in Newtown. There will also be a Q&A session with Training Day Director Antoine Fuqua starting at 6 o'clock tonight.
Ringling keeps on growing more and more by the year, don't they?
They sure do. Don't you imagine those kids are excited about that?
I know. Great quality stages for them to, have some of that real life experience.
That's right. Put it out there. It's good stuff. We're looking at some changing weather coming up this week. Right now, we've got some big changing weather up in North Florida. We'll talk about that coming up in just a second.
All right, looking forward to it. Well, still ahead, law enforcement getting a bird's eye view in hopes of sending you the help you need faster. What technology they're now using to receive critical information. Stay with us.
The agents at SWC would like to show you pictures of all the homes that they've sold quickly for their clients. But they're just too many to show. Contact SWC today and find out for yourself. We just market your home better.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job. I am Goodwill, yeah.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get Debt-Free Now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-685-6422, 800-685-6422.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
Current air temperatures coming in at a toasty almost 70, 69 degrees. Dew point is at 67. That is thick, humid air in place, and that's going to be the case throughout the day today. We are developing a very breezy and even windy flow out of the southeast, southeast right now, coming in at about 11 at this hour of the morning, which is generally a calm period. We'll probably see gusts today as high as 30 miles per hour. So some pretty strong wind flow out of the south, really bringing that moisture our way. Take a look at dew points across the state. I mean, they're high everywhere. Dew points in Key West at 71 are equal to dew points in Pensacola, coming in at 71. And there's some pretty rough weather headed toward parts of Pensacola possibly a little bit later today. Across the state, these high humidities are going to lead to kind of a sticky afternoon. That'll be true tomorrow and probably Wednesday as well. But on Thursday, we'll have a cold front move through here that promises us some delightful weekend weather. So strong winds out of the south today mean along our area beaches, rip currents could be an issue. There will also be a small craft advisory issued for areas north of us starting at about 10 o'clock today. So even area waters are going to be a little bit rough out there, or at least you'll get a good chop, a moderate chop. Taking a look at the beach reports from Moat Marine spotters who go out here and sample the air quality, determining whether or not there are red tide irritants in the air. Well, when I left you on Friday, it was green flags everywhere. Today, we do have one yellow flag for slight amounts of irritants in the air at Minnesota Beach. However, we'll see how that changes as we get these strong winds and some rougher wave action with time. Winds will be consistently out of the south, I think, through the overnight tonight. Titan radar quiet in our area, but boy, that's not the case in North Florida. There are watches and warnings flying. Everything from flood to severe thunderstorm to tornado watches up for this morning into the afternoon because of a strong line of storms and some upper-level support heading eastward. There have been multiple reports of wind damage already in parts of Alabama, mostly trees down, things like that. And the zone for strong, severe weather today exists all the way up toward the Atlanta airport, so there could be some airport delays a little bit later on because of that. We'll watch a frontal boundary move through here as we head into Thursday, giving us another couple of breezy days, but it will also lower our temperatures delightfully into the weekend. Our daytime highs today will be in the mid-80s. On Saturday, they'll be in the low 70s. How does that sound to you?
Quite a change. All right, thank you, John. Let's check the roads right now. A little bit of a slowdown already this morning, heading into downtown Bradenton off 301. A lot of red lights there. Not sure what's going on to cause that distinction on the map this morning. Let's check a little farther south now into the Sarasota County map. Nothing to report right now at this hour. And then farther south into the southern portion of our viewing area, a little slowdown there on 41 northbound. It says northbound, it's actually an east-west corridor at that moment. And also that construction project continues in that lower right corner of your screen down by Warm Mineral Springs and Tarpon Point.
First responders are now taking to the sky in hopes of helping them tackle emergencies better and faster on the ground.
ABC's Marcy Gonzalez has more on this new technology.
It is a technology taking off with law enforcement. With high-def and infrared cameras attached, drones are now being increasingly used by first responders to give critical and quick bird's-eye views.
We can be up in the air within about 35 to 40 seconds.
Authorities now putting them to use in missing person cases and in manhunts like this search for a car thief in Texas. With the nearest helicopter an hour away, officials are able to beat the clock, using a drone to send live images of the suspect making a run for it, showing officers just where to go to make the arrest. In New York, you see firefighters using their new drone to get above this building up in flames.
With the drone, we actually had good visual pictures.
And back in Texas, a drone used as a literal lifeline.
Oh my God, the water's under the house.
Bringing a rescue rope across floodwaters to save a stranded family. And that rescue was groundbreaking, helping lead to the creation of drone response teams throughout that state and now in more places across the country. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Wow, so interesting to see the advancement in technology there.
Changing things around, and there's a Sarasota company that actually sells drones. They're doing so well nationwide, worldwide, that they have to expand their headquarters here in Sarasota.
Wow.
They're changing technology and changing the way we do things left and right. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, move over April the giraffe. A new animal is pregnant and now going viral.
And next half hour at 5:30, the second man to ever walk on the moon takes a new kind of flight in Florida. Stay with us. Details coming up.
There's a whole new way to bank with Achieva Checking Plus. You get new features like cell phone protection for 3 phones, plus an interest-bearing account. And that's good to know. Discover all the benefits at AchievaCU.com. Achieva, banking for good. Achieva Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
For years, I told everyone my Craftmatic adjustable bed was the greatest until I got the new Craftmatic Legacy. It has an adjustable pillow feature that's awesome. You're gonna want one too when you see how little they cost.
If you've ever had a bad night's sleep, call and price the new Craftmatic Legacy. It has so much more than other adjustables and still costs up to 50% less, featuring a rising adjustable pillow rest, bedside power plugs, underbed night lights, and more. Available in all mattress types with optional heat and soothing massage for as much as half the price of Tempur-Pedic, Sleep Number, and other adjustables. Enjoy temporary relief of low back pain, nighttime heartburn, mild arthritis. Adjust the rising pillow feature to help align your head, neck, and shoulders. See for yourself with our 30-day in-home trial. So call and price one today for less, up to 50% less.
You get so much more and it still costs less. You gotta see how little they cost.
Call 1-800-237-0214. That's 1-800-237-0214. Call 1-800-237-0214. Call now.
There's a whole new way to bank with Achieva Checking Plus. You get new features like full ID theft protection, and that's good to know. Discover all the benefits at AchievaCU.com. Achieva, banking for good. Achieva Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
Welcome back. Heading toward a warm and windy day. 5:23 right now.
Well, Twitter is ditching its infamous default profile pictures.
ABC's Candace Gibson and Adrienne Bankert have that story.
In today's Tech Bites, Twitter looking a little different.
Yeah, it's gotten rid of those egg avatars, which had become something of a symbol of anonymous online harassment.
The egg has been replaced by a human silhouette, and Twitter says it's supposed to encourage users to personalize their profiles while hopefully cutting down on abuse.
We'll see if it works. We're also hearing the battle between Alexa and Siri is coming to hotel rooms. According to Bloomberg, Marriott is putting both into Boston's Aloft Hotel to help guests turn on lights and change TV channels by voice command.
The company is trying to figure out which digital assistant works better.
And April, the giraffe is not the only expectant mama ready to deliver on camera.
Yeah, meet Eveline, a rescue cat set to give birth any day now. Her animal shelter wants to spread the word about spaying and neutering. Eveline's live stream has been watched by thousands of people so far. Come on, Eveline. Those are your Tech Bites.
Have a great day.
Tech Bites, brought to you by Canine Advantix.
Oh, ow. Hey, Scout. What's with the itches and scratchies?
It's these fleas and ticks. Ow. I'm getting bit like crazy. Got any ideas for me?
Well, not all products work the same. That's why my owner gives me Canine Advantix 2. It kills fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes, too?
Yep, kills all 3 through contact. No biting required.
Wish my owner knew about Canine Advantix 2. Ow!
Well, could be worse. Huh.
Glorious.
Protect against the bites that can spread disease. Canine Advantix 2. Wise choice.
Some people say we live at Burlington, and you know what? She's been here like 3 times this month.
Burlington has new stuff all the time. The prices are amazing. This wasn't here last week. I'm coming back tomorrow.
At least I know where to find you.
Good is in every Blue Diamond almond. And once good gets going, there's no stopping it. Blue Diamond almonds, get your good going.
Sarasota Magazine and PNC Wealth Management present the Best of Sarasota Soiree at Selby Gardens on April 24th.
It's an evening to sip, savor, and celebrate Sarasota Manatee's Best of Winners.
This year will be full of Warhol-inspired surprises, entertainment, and a tribute to those representing the best in our community.
Come join ABC7 for all the fun.
Get your tickets today at sarasotamagazine.com.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, restaurant guide, and more. Go to mysuncoast.com/dining.
What Florida city is best known for spaceflight?
Cape Carnival.
Cape Carnival? Close enough. What condiment includes vinegar, molasses, and anchovies?
Westchester sauce?
Close enough. And now, a word from our sponsors.
One-off from the Florida Lottery. Now available for pick 2, 3, 4, and 5 games. Miss by one on any or all numbers and still win.
Are you considering joint replacement or revision surgery? Consider this. Dr. Edward Stolarski has performed thousands of successful joint replacement procedures and trained surgeons from all over the world. Using advanced technologies, Dr. Stolarski is able to perform some of the most complex surgeries.
I wish I knew about Dr. Stolarski much sooner.
After the surgery, I don't have any pain. It's like I've got a 16-year-old hip.
My name's Ed Stolarski. What I really do is I give people back their life.
Schedule a consultation today.
At Tidewell Hospice, we know it's never too late to say thank you to our military veterans. The Tidewell Honors Veterans Program has provided care to more than 13,000 military families since 2008. Tidewell volunteers help honor veterans through special pinning ceremonies that demonstrate our appreciation for the freedom our veterans fought to defend. If you know a veteran who can benefit from end-of-life care, call or visit tidewell.org today. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
So many times we underestimate the human spirit's drive to recover. We often see people surpass what any of us might have expected initially. The Rehabilitation Pavilion at Sarasota Memorial is the top of the line. It allows us to really bring the patient's recovery to the next level.
Next on Good Morning Suncoast, the latest on a Tennessee teen and the man accused of kidnapping her. What new details surveillance video shows after being spotted for the first time.
Plus, a man who walked on the moon had another aviation milestone this weekend. We'll tell you what Buzz Aldrin did this time.
And a recall on Ford trucks. That reason coming up on Good Morning Suncoast.
Live from the ABC7 studios, this is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
And a pleasant good morning as we start out with a shot of the Ringling Causeway. Nice peaceful day. Might see some wind though. The camera already shaking a bit. I think John's got details of that. We'll talk about that next. But for now, good morning. I'm Ray Collins.
And I'm Jacqueline Matter. Certainly a hot day yesterday when I was at the beach.
Yeah, it certainly was.
It was very humid too.
And it might continue today with warm and windy temperatures. Let's get details from meteorologist John Scalzi. Hi, John.
Yeah, it's going to be another sticky day. Good morning, you guys. Do you have a good weekend?
Certainly did. Got a chance to go to the farmer's market as well. It was hot though.
Again, once again. Hot. Well, we had 85 degrees as a daytime high. We ran around 6 degrees above average. Some places in Florida nearly broke 100-year records. So we are looking at another very warm day today. Now, under the influence of a high pressure area building up from the south, plus a strong low pressure area in the northern part of the Gulf Coast that won't impact us, but it will kind of set up a war between the high pressure ridge and the low pressure area to the north. So what the result will be is a very windy, breezy afternoon. In fact, we could have some wind gusts coming in as high as 30 miles per hour a little bit later on. So definitely a breeze in the air. We're looking at some temperatures across the region that are already feeling kind of sticky. You see the temperatures right now, 72, 73. Those will be our high temperatures coming up in about 3 or 4 days. We'll be talking about that in detail in just a few minutes. Right now, we'll look for a daytime high that'll be anything but cool. It'll be probably around 6-7 degrees above average again today, coming in the mid-80s. Complete forecast details in a few.
All right, taking a look at your Suncoast traffic this morning, increasing throughout Manatee County on State Road 70 and 301, a little bit towards downtown Bradenton, but no accidents to report throughout that area as we head into Sarasota County. Pretty quiet for the most part. Fruitville and Bee Ridge seeing a little bit of increase in traffic. However, Sarasota PD has told us about an accident that was on Siesta Drive. It has closed Siesta Drive. They are reporting that one person is dead after an SUV crashed into Siesta Drive and La Paloma Avenue. That road is closed at the current moment. We do have a crew heading out that direction. We'll bring you the latest updates as that becomes available. As we head into South County, some congestion towards the Warm Mineral Springs area. Some construction is underway in that area, but no other accidents to report.
It will be a busy week in Washington. On Capitol Hill, the Senate will vote on a new Supreme Court justice. The president of China will visit, and issues also remain over Russia and health care as well. ABC's Lana Zach has it all from Capitol Hill.
Today, the Senate Judiciary Committee is planning to vote on Supreme Court nominee Neil Gorsuch.
What I can tell you is that Neil Gorsuch will be confirmed this week.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is threatening to do whatever it takes to break a filibuster by Democrats. But it's not yet clear if he'll need to. 3 Democrats have announced they will vote for Gorsuch. The White House needs 5 more defectors to avoid the so-called nuclear option. But there are real nukes at stake in the growing tensions with North Korea. That issue a critical agenda item in the upcoming visit of Chinese President Xi Jinping. The meeting already potentially contentious after some of the president's campaign rhetoric.
We can't continue to allow China to rape our country, and that's what they're doing.
And now, in an interview with the Financial Times, President Trump said China will either decide to help us with North Korea or they won't, implying that the U.S. may have to act alone. But North Korea is doing its own saber rattling. One North Korean official threatening, if you bring out a knife to attack us, we will take out a sword. While over a round of golf with Senator Rand Paul, the president's negotiations on health care appear to be continuing.
I remain very optimistic that we will get Obamacare repealed.
But don't expect any moves on health care anytime soon. That issue continues to divide Republicans, as does Russia. But a new poll out now shows that a majority of Americans favor an independent investigation. Lana Zach, ABC News, Washington. An update on the story of a missing teenager from Tennessee. Investigators are now releasing new surveillance images of the girl with her kidnapper. The two were caught on camera at a Walmart earlier this month in Oklahoma City. Both of them had altered their appearances. Now, this is the first confirmed sighting of 15-year-old Elizabeth Thomas and 50-year-old Tad Cummins, a former teacher at her school. Investigators say this case is a kidnapping and should be taken seriously. Anyone who sees Thomas or Cummins should call 911 immediately. Cummins is believed to be armed with 2 handguns and was last known to be driving a silver Nissan SUV with a Tennessee license plate.
A search also for the man they believe carjacked a woman at a gas station in Massachusetts. They say 32-year-old William Ty climbed into the victim's car while she was pumping gas. She sprayed Ty with gas as she tried to pull away from the car. There's video right now you can watch. She was dragged several feet before the car took off with Ty driving inside.
For her, I mean, that's probably smart thinking because no one wants to get sprayed with gas. That's going to be awful.
After the suspect sped off, the woman called 911 and waited for officers to arrive. Shortly afterwards, police found her Mazda abandoned several miles away, but the search continues for this man. They still couldn't find him as of this morning.
Officials are looking into what caused a massive carbon monoxide leak at a hotel in Michigan over the weekend.
Very sad. A 13-year-old boy is dead, 6 others recovering, and as Kenneth Moten tells us, an inexpensive detector might have stopped it all.
Tonight, the children who survived those toxic fumes and their families back at this hotel to remember 13-year-old Brian Watts, the friend they lost.
He was funny, and he always joked around, and he was like fun to hang out with.
6 middle schoolers found unconscious around the pool of this Michigan Quality Inn and Suite Saturday. Another passed out upstairs.
I walked past the pool, and there were literally just 5 bodies.
All I remember is me just passing out and hitting my head.
Fire investigators now certain the cause, a broken pool heater, pumping a lethal dose of carbon monoxide into the air. Do we know if the hotel had a CO detector?
At this point, to the best of our knowledge, it did not have a CO detector.
Under Michigan law, newly constructed buildings after 2009 were required to have CO detectors. Records show the Quality Inn was built in 2000. 400 killed, 20,000 treated every year in the U.S. for CO poisoning. You can't smell or see carbon monoxide. The first signs of poisoning: dizziness, vomiting, and headaches. That fire captain pointing out CO detectors cost about $20 and last for 10 years. This Quality Inn here is working to make repairs, calling the deadly incident isolated. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Niles, Michigan.
In other news, an Amber Alert is called off for an 11-year-old girl. The alert went out for Ariana Simone Forney over the weekend. She was reported missing after her grandparents were found dead at their Charlotte, North Carolina home. Firefighters responded to the home after the couple's home alarm system detected smoke. They then found the bodies in a small fire. Ariana was later found in Washington, D.C. in a car connected to that Amber Alert. Police now plan to seek murder charges against the girl's uncle in her grandparents' death.
In California, a dog is back home after it became trapped at the base of a well for 4 hours. It happened in the Santa Monica Mountains on Sunday afternoon. Rescue crews say Lucy was hiking with her family off a dirt road when she fell into the well. A search and rescue team set up a rope system so a firefighter could get in and bring Lucy out. Lucy's fine, firefighters say. Keep your dog on a leash. Another reminder right there. Wow. Well, the second man ever to walk on the moon took a first-of-his-kind flight in Florida on Sunday.
Buzz Aldrin became the oldest person to fly with the Thunderbirds. Reporter Caitlin Wilson was there and has more.
Legendary astronaut Buzz Aldrin was once one of the first men to walk on the moon. And now, even at 87 years old, he's still defying the odds.
Well, it's been a good while. But I understand the throttle and the stick and formation flying.
Sunday, he flew among the clouds once more alongside the United States Air Force Thunderbirds at the Melbourne Air and Space Show. He helped to fly an F-16 Fighting Falcon. His co-pilot described the experience as one he'd never dreamed he'd have.
It was a lifetime highlight for sure. To be able to go out, take an American icon up in an F-16, a Thunderbird F-16 at that, and then to fly over the Cape with all those historic sites, Pad 39 Alpha, where Apollo 11 took off, it's just it's hard to put into words.
Walsh said even at 87, Aldrin seemed perfectly at home in the sky.
Physically, mentally, sharp as a tack, and it was just impressive to see how he handled the profile.
For Aldrin, he says he just wishes he could do things of this nature much more often.
I felt at home, and it'd be nice to be able to do that all the time.
Before Aldrin's time working for NASA, he served as a fighter pilot for the Air Force, later serving in the Korean War. He eventually retired as a colonel.
The Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum in Nashville now turning 50. The Tennessean reports that the museum celebrated the anniversary on Saturday with a $1.50 admission. Now that's the same price as the museum's opening day back in 1967. Live music and cupcakes were served up in the museum's conservatory. The museum CEO, Kyle Young, started as a ticket taker 41 years ago at that museum's original location. Ford Motors planning to recall 52,000 F-250 trucks. The reason, the automaker says certain vehicles could move while in park. In a statement today, Ford encouraged owners of certain models of the F-250 to always use their parking brake as a safety precaution. So far, it has not received any reports of injuries or accidents because of that defect. The recall includes trucks built at a Kentucky plant beginning in 2015.
A follow-up now on a mid-air collision that killed 2 pilots over Daytona Beach this weekend. Witnesses saw the 2 planes collide over I-95 on Saturday morning. Sources say the 2 pilots were part of a group out of a Spruce Creek fly-in near Port Orange. A woman who had been driving north on the interstate described what she saw.
Absolutely shocked. I just kept saying to my daughter, oh my God, what just happened? All the debris was coming down and the planes were coming down over right next to us. I didn't know what to do.
An investigation is now underway by the National Transportation Safety Board.
And this weekend was opening weekend for baseball, and then one artist from Sarasota showed up for his team spirit on a couple of beer cans. Timothy Raines painted his take on the Rays' famous Sunburst logo on some Budweiser beer cans. He then passed the cans out to the first group of fans who walked through the gates at Tropicana Field. He says most of his paintings are big and bold, so being restricted to a 3x2-inch space was a bit of a challenge, but he did make it work. New this morning, another high ranking for the Suncoast. The latest numbers from the U.S. Census Bureau puts the Suncoast as one of the fastest growing areas in the country. This includes the Punta Gorda, Charlotte County, and Northport, Sarasota, Bradenton areas. Sarasota County ranked 10th overall in the nation, and Manatee County ranked number 32. Some of those reasons being credited for the growth include the Suncoast's rich history, new home construction, and lots of water and outdoor activities.
A middle school basketball player in Florida has become an overnight sensation on the internet. This is 13-year-old Jamarian Stiles. He lost his arms as a baby, but he can still play basketball. He's become an inspiration after a Twitter video of him sinking a three-pointer just before the buzzer in a recent game.
I love it right now, man. Our teammates is enjoying me. I'm enjoying it. It's just a great feeling.
Let's watch how he does this. It's amazing. He also plays football and says he enjoys football more than basketball. Here's your weekly dose of inspiration, John Scalzi.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
That's absolutely great.
Wow.
It won't let him stop.
No, it keeps on going. Good for him.
Good.
Yeah.
We have some changing weather coming up later on this week. We have a cold front coming our way that promises big weekend changes. We'll talk about that in a sec.
Well, still ahead, how a man's decision to use medical marijuana led to him being taken off a transplant list. It's coming up next in your Health Smart.
Here we go. We're going to go out there in the rain. You're going to get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, oh, yeah. Yes. So much fun. Mwah.
The agents at SWC would like to show you pictures of all the homes that they've sold quickly for their clients. But they're just too many to show. Contact SWC today and find out for yourself. We just market your home better.
The kitchen is where life happens. Minnesota Flooring now offers a wide variety of beautiful quality craft-made cabinetry to make sure the heart of your home reflects your style. Visit us today at our new kitchen and bath cabinetry locations.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
There's a whole new way to bank at Achieva Credit Union with Achieva Checking Plus. Get new unique features like full ID theft protection and online shopping rewards. Plus, it's an interest-bearing account, so you have a little extra for what really matters. Achieva Checking Plus isn't just an account for your money, it's for your life, including cell phone insurance. And that's good to know. Discover the plus at achievacu.com. Achieva, banking for good. Achieva Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetzy. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
Current air temperature outside is a 69-degree, steamy, humid temperature with a dew point value coming in at 67. So it is clearly a very humid start to what will end up being a very humid afternoon. A lot of cloud cover in places, other places having fairly clear conditions. We have an east-southeast wind now coming in at 11. This is normally kind of a calm wind time of day and just before dawn, but not today. We have an area of low pressure located to our north that's helping to draw up this warm, steamy air mass. Now, these are not air temperatures. These are dew point temperatures. Remember, dew point temperatures in the 60s indicate a humid environment. In the 70s, I mean, it feels almost summer-like. Well, you've got 70s as far north as Pensacola this morning, and dew points in the 60s, mid-60s, everywhere else across the state. So a very moist, warm tropical flow moving northward, feeding in to a low-pressure area now in the Panhandle. Quiet conditions, though, on radar locally. But back to the north, that's not the case. We've had thunderstorms that have become severe in parts of Alabama, Mississippi, producing some downed trees onto houses, power lines, power outages. I mean, it's been some nasty weather there over the course of the last 12 hours or so. Now we have this area in red highlighted. That's a tornado watch box up till 9 o'clock this morning because of these strong thunderstorms. Well, actually 10 o'clock our time, because of these strong thunderstorms moving eastward. So even the Panhandle, Pensacola, may see a few stronger storms a little bit later on today. This is the kind of the zone where the most severe and the active weather could occur, severe thunderstorms, even tornadoes. And it's getting pretty close to the Atlanta airport by later tonight, so there could be some airport delays as we progress into the afternoon. For us, you're not going to see much more than maybe an inland thunderstorm along a sea breeze front. No severe weather for us. Really right straight through, it looks like, the balance of the week. We do have front number 1 that continues to move its way eastward, producing that severe weather threat in the deep south. And then front number 2 is going to be gathering steam and approaching a little bit later in the week. That'll be a game changer for us in terms of the weather. This first front producing the severe weather north of us right now, that one is going to stall out. It's going to stall out just a little bit further to our south, eventually just wash away. But the fact that it kind of gets a little bit closer to us and then kind of stalls out for a day or two, wagging its tail in North Florida, it leads to some unsettled weather tomorrow. Not much, but a little. About a 20% chance of a shower or a thunderstorm. That's about it. Warm and humid with lots of sunshine around today. Breezy, though, watch for that because of the combination of the high-pressure ridge trying to build up from the south and that low to our north. We get wind gusts today that could be in excess of 30 miles per hour. So small craft advisory, just watch out for that. It'll be mostly to our north, but we have a rip current advisory for our area waters. And an inland shower possible along that sea breeze front, but we're waiting for that cooler weekend. There's the big comma-shaped pattern of that storm system now moving through parts of the deep south again for us. It's a partly cloudy day, but beautiful in terms of our warm temperatures if you're a warm temperature lover. A few scattered showers in inland areas. Watch the rainfall futurecast. We basically stay dry today, though, as showers and thunderstorms occur in the northern part of the state and up around the Big Bend region. And then as we head into probably Thursday is when we have a chance at seeing some rain showers around as the front comes through. That one cools us off big time, just in time for the weekend, with daytime highs in the low 70s, nighttime lows in the upper 50s. Looks great. Back to you.
Wow, big change. Thank you, John. Let's check the roads right now. First off in Manatee County, little buildup around downtown Bradenton. Also a slowdown right now at Cortez and 14th Street West. Farther south now into Sarasota County. We're going to talk to you about a fatal accident that happened about 3 hours ago. As you cross over Siesta Keys Northern Bridge, there's that big bend at Heigl Road. SPD tells us about a fatal accident where a truck or a pickup truck or an SUV struck a tree. We're told the driver died. We've got a crew on the scene. That's at Siesta Drive where it bends into Heigl. Sharp turn there as you head out toward the beach. So that really can be a dangerous spot if you don't realize the road's going to bend to the left, mostly right there. So we'll have more on that throughout the morning. In the meantime, let's check the maps now farther south into Sarasota County and just that one construction issue to the lower right corner of your screen on 41 between Warm Mineral Springs and Tarpon Point. But that's the road situation for now. On to health news. A kidney patient in Maine has been taken off a transplant wait after using medical marijuana.
But state lawmakers are now considering a bill that would prohibit Maine hospitals from doing just that. Gary Godfrey has Alport syndrome, which is a hereditary disease which causes renal failure at a young age. He says marijuana is the only thing that helps him function. Doctors at Maine Medical Center, though, say he has been taken off that transplant list that he's been on for nearly 15 years due to their drug policy. They say candidates could risk an invasive fungal infection if using that drug. Godfrey testified in support of a bill that is now in committee that would prohibit hospitals from rejecting transplant patients for using medical marijuana. Binge drinking, typically something you think of when it comes to college kids or young adults, but a new study says binge drinking is increasing in older Americans. It shows that men and women over the age of 60 say they've consumed 5 or more alcoholic beverages in a single day in the past year. One doctor is calling it a public health issue, saying as people age, their body has to work harder to process that alcohol. This in turn weakens the body, makes it more difficult to control diseases and benefit from medications and get a good night's rest.
And speaking of drinking, the world's strongest coffee is now available in this country, but the webpage called Black Insomnia is not for the faint of heart. Literally, it has about 59 milligrams of caffeine per ounce. That's almost 3 times the amount in Starbucks. Dark roast. I'm sorry, let's try this again. The site is called Caffeine Informer, and it says the coffee is called Black Insomnia. It's one of the most dangerous products with caffeine in it. A 12-ounce cup would have more than 700 milligrams of caffeine, and the FDA says you shouldn't have more than 400 in a single day. So I wouldn't drink coffee that had a black bag with that mark on it.
Yeah, I don't think I would either. Maybe like a little taste just to try it, but that's about it.
That could be bad for the ticker.
Yeah. Ooh. All right, stay with us. We'll have more news and weather after the break.
Today at 4 on Suncoast View.
I'm Stephanie Roberts on Suncoast View. Don't miss movies at the Sarasota Film Festival, plus a red carpet recap from opening night and Harry's Continental Kitchen.
Today at 4 on Suncoast View.
So many times we underestimate the human spirit's drive to recover. We often see people surpass what any of us might have expected initially. The Rehabilitation Pavilion at Sarasota Memorial is the top of the line. It allows us to really bring the patient's recovery to the next level.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Are you considering joint replacement or revision surgery? Consider this. Dr. Edward Stolarski has performed thousands of successful joint replacement procedures and trained surgeons from all over the world. Using advanced technologies, Dr. Stolarski is able to perform some of the most complex surgeries.
I wish I knew about Dr. Stolarski much sooner.
After the surgery, I don't have any pain. It's like I've got a 16-year-old hip.
My name's Ed Stolarski. What I really do is I give people back their life.
Schedule a consultation today.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-628-1251, 800-628-1251.
Attention sleep apnea sufferers. If you use CPAP therapy, if you have private insurance, or you're on a Medicare replacement plan, we may be able to help you get your CPAP supplies at little or no cost to you and free shipping. Most insurance companies allow a patient to get a new CPAP mask, cushion, filter, and tubing every 3 to 6 months to prevent respiratory infection and skin sores.
That's why you should call AmeriCare CPAP. Call 800-423-5457. That's 800-423-5457.
All right, well, what is a better way to let off a little steam than a massive pillow fight? Take a look at this. The feathers were flying for Pillow Fight Seattle of 2017. Participants were encouraged to wear costumes or pajamas to make that fight extra authentic, of course. This is the 4th time, that looks painful, that the Seattle Deviants put together a big fight for International Pillow Fight Day. Didn't know that was a thing. Yeah. The fight was also an opportunity to raise money. Organizers collected donations from the pillow fighters themselves. They then matched those donations with money of their own and gave it all to homeless shelters, the Compass Housing Alliance, and the Downtown Emergency Service Center. Several cities around the world also helped participate in International World Pillow Fight Day, which is a thing, apparently.
I didn't know why that one person was being picked on, but I think it's a political statement.
I guess he had a protest sign, but I couldn't read the sign.
Yeah. I got a hunch. I'll tell you in a minute. We'll have more local news, including more on that one-car fatal crash overnight on Siesta Drive. Details coming up.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
I'm Alan Cohn. What lies below? Suspected for years, Manatee commissioners finally look into a suspected cancer cluster at Old Bayshore High.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.